I have received many people inquiring as to how I paint my hot metal. First off, we're going to get some bright candy silver. The beauty of this stuff by Alcalad 2 is that you don't need to primer the surface. It goes right on the plastic. This is also the Verka Heavy Weapons Kit for New Gundam. So we're starting off with the silver candy base. Clean your workspace if you can. If you didn't soak it in, water and dish soap and use the toothbrush on it and then pray to the Gunpla gods that there was no residue left behind, you can always do this cheap tactic I do. Isopropyl alcohol. I usually use 90% proof because I mess with computers. So 2 birds, 1 stone. And it dries so quickly, you're not going to notice anything. And I'd say it's just about as good. Now, what inspired me to do these is the titanium exhaust I used to see that I couldn't afford for my own race bike, and that I saw other guys would have on their bikes and I'd lament over. That's the inspiration here. Right here is some glossy black base by Alcalad. That's what we're going to be using. And I also showed off some Tamiya glossy black. Everybody swears by Tamiya, but today we're not using Tamiya. We're using Alcalad. We're trying to save time. It was at 4 a.m. I was doing this. I was half asleep while painting this. Keep that in mind.
You've been sleepwalking. Consider tonight your wake-up call. Wake up, Pearl. Wake up.
Now, this glossy black backer is supposed to be sprayed in like a light to medium coats, maybe 2 or something. But frankly, if you really want that sort of reflective metal shine, the glossier the black, the better. Now note, I'm not a professional Gunpla builder. I've done like 6 or 7 kits. So I play by my own rules. This may lead to screwing up, so don't follow me exactly. Now after we finish doing down our silver candy base, we're going to pull out our infinite easy cutting type A board that was given to me by New Type HQ. Use promo code ItsAGunpla. Help me out here, guys. I'm losing to Gunpla Mel. This is the idea I was using. We're going to use these little pieces of tape to give welding looks, Now, where I screwed up, and here we go, we're going to need some hot metal blue, by the way, big time. Now, where I screwed up with this, and I will suggest to someone else doing this, use a thinner cut line. I used too big of strips of Tamiya tape. I should have cut them thinner. It would have looked better. I wasn't thinking clearly. 4 in the morning, airbrushing while asleep. So we're knocking out that beautiful blue. I kind of wish I got some other blues, maybe a cobalt blue or something. So I was definitely forcing this to get darker and faster than it should have been done, which led to some mistakes and over-exaggeration. But hey, I kind of just did this on a whim rather than planning it out and testing anything. I'm not Zaku Aurelius here. I'm going to hit this thing right off the bat. No clear idea. Let's go. That's how I live my life. Like Charlie Sheen, all right? Tiger blood, 1 speed, 1 gear, go. Then you snort a line of coke, and then you do, you bang some 7-gram rocks.
I don't know, man. I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them because that's how I roll. I have 1 speed, I have 1 gear. Go.
You play some Motley Crue, you paint Gunpla. A little bit too edgy for this channel. I'm supposed to be clean here. Now, I don't have any Alcalad purple, so we have to make our own. You take some red and some blue, mix together, boom, you got purple. You see, the transition, you want to go from like the hot metal blue into a purplish hue, then the sapphire or Sephora, I don't know how to say it. Should have used Google Translate, but it's 2:43 a.m. right now. As you can see, there's a pattern. Insomnia. I work on this sort of stuff at very odd hours, and I'm very tired. Forgive me for complaining, but I've been working on too many channels as a one-man band. By the way, big ups to Mr. Echo for the new designed interactive logo. Now, back on point. I'm now laying down my mixed purple. And as I said before, I went too heavy on the blue. And then I was doing too heavy on the purple, trying to make the transition happen too quickly, which led to too much paint. And then we got to run. You see, you don't want this. And I left it as such so that way someone can learn from me. Don't go too hard on this. Or do it when you're awake, not when you're half asleep. But hey, if you're like me and you got too many things that need to be done and it's one dude, you just got to power through, baby. And since this is a test and just showing people my method, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? See, there goes the Sephora, I don't know. It's like that yellowish tint color that happens on heated titanium. And we're just going to lay down some lines here. This is probably one of my favorite colors to use because as soon as you start using it, it becomes very apparent. It's very quick and easy to work with, unlike the blue, which sort of teases you like a girl on Tinder who's kind of interested, but she's really not. She just wants an ego boost. And you're like, listen here, baby, I don't have time. I got little robots to paint. Don't play with me. I'm the voice of a generation. That Walmart order is so rough. And since I'm kind of rushing this project, I only allowed the black paint to dry maybe 5 hours. Oh God, and I didn't even tell you that I used Alcalad steel for that. And then after we let the Alcalad steel paint dry, remember, definite light coats when you're doing your metals on top of a glossy black, or else you ruin it. That is a rule you cannot break. Next up, we're using Aqua Clear. Most people use Pledge as their clear coat. I'm just gonna go with Aqua Clear. I don't feel like using floor products in my expensive airbrush, really. Knowing my luck, I'll clog it and lose my mind. By the way, I use an Iwata Highline C pH Plus or something. I highly recommend it, but I will probably try a Mr. Hobby airbrush next and do a review for that. And here's the finished piece. This is all within the course of a few hours. Yeah, definitely a few hours. And I cut down an hour of footage into less than 10 minutes. Gotta love me, right? I'm an editing genius. As you can see, the overall effect, it's pretty cool. Since I didn't do the rest of the heavy weapons kit for the new Gundam, this is all you get for now. Because I knew people really wanted to know how I did my whole paint transition on Sinanju Stein. And I was like, fine, I'll get to work on it. Give me some time. Let me recharge my batteries. And this is the outcome. This is a little bit extreme, though. It's a different sort of method because it's a bigger piece. And I was goofing around, seeing if I could try something new. My transitions weren't as much as I'd like them to be. And that's mainly because I made the welding points that I used for tape too big. If it was a bit thinner, it would have came out much better. Also, another tip that I realized and forgot to do, laziness and being tired. If you sand down your entire project area, but you uniform sand, you know, like you keep everything in line with each other, then you lay down your candy silver base coat, it'll have a much more authentic and realistic machine metal look. I didn't go all the way through on this entire piece, which I really wish that I did. But I was tired and I was rushing. I was working on like 3 or 4 videos. Ah, man. I'm burning out, dude. You don't even know. Maybe I'll just pull an Etika, go crazy and karate chop a cop in the throat and go to a mental ward for a vacation for a little bit. Well, that's going to do it for me. You know the whole spiel. Gonna have to have you rate, comment, and subscribe. Bang little bell buttons. Share my videos. Tell everyone that I'm Bob Ross's spiritual successor of Gunpla and the second coming of Sam Kinison. Or else you two will bury me like an unwanted pregnancy at the end of prom. It's not a good look, as the kids say. Oh. There'll be some more videos coming up soon. Trying to finish that Gunpla base. And maybe work on Dynamez. I don't know. Or Perfect Grade and Unicorn Gundam. Not quite sure what I'm going to do next. Because time constraints, you know what I'm saying? There's so much I want to do. Actually, the Dynamez, I kind of want to put a resin kit on rather than just build it vanilla. Then I'd also wouldn't mind having a vanilla version to compare to a resin kit to really blow people's minds. But listen, let's save that for another time. I need some sleep.